Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Perch. I'm the owner of Roadmap Consulting. We are a federal government contracting and consulting firm located here in the Washington, D.C. area. And we're very happy to have you guys join us on this webinar to talk a little bit about the FCP migration by GSA. One of the more notable things that has happened within the GSA multiple award schedule system within the last year or so is impacting everyone, and that has a GSA schedule. And the purpose of this webinar is just to inform you of all the things that are going on within this mandatory requirement that GSA has of GSA schedule holders, make you aware of the impact on how you're going to manage your schedule, and hopefully provide you with some solutions and give you some ideas as far as how we might be of assistance to you should you need us. So we're going to make this very brief. The purpose of this webinar is to really kind of pique your interest in terms of wanting to discuss how we might be of assistance to you, make you aware, first of all the things going on, but then also provide you with a 15-minute consultation with us specific to your requirements and your needs as far as complying with this action on the part of GSA. So we're going to take about no more than 15, 20 minutes of your time. We're going to give you your day back. And again, we're going to welcome you to sign up with us for a 15-minute consultation at the very end. Okay, next slide. So today what we're going to discuss are five main items. We're going to talk about our background and experience just to give you enough information on us to know, have you know who we are. Then we're going to talk about the actual FCP migration and all the ins and outs of it. And then we're going to talk about the five-step baseline process of going through getting your contract migrated over to the FCP system. And then we're in number 4, talk about how we could be of assistance to you. And then number 5, summary and next steps. Okay. So to give you a broad understanding as to who we are, RMC has been around for 17 years. We've helped over 300 companies get onto the GSA schedule, as well as maintain the schedule, the terms and conditions and pricing requirements. We also help with what's called marketing and capture management, which helps you win task orders once you're on schedule. So we're basically a turnkey solution for helping you acquire, maintain, and market your schedule. We are ISO certified, so that means we're very service quality driven, making sure that you're 100% happy with everything that you sign us up to support you on. We are ourselves a GSA schedule holder. As I said, we also contract with the federal government, providing management consulting and acquisition support services. So as our name implies, we provide a strategic roadmap for helping companies to implement successful business practices. Okay, next slide. So at this point, I'm going to turn you over to one of our senior contract managers. His name is Alexander Damaco. And he's been on board with our company for the past 3 years. He is an expert in this area of FCP migration, which, by the way, I didn't mention this on the front end. If you are a GSA schedule holder, sometime, if you have not been contacted yet by GSA, sometime between now and the end of this year, you will be contacted to migrate over to the FCP platform. And Alex has done a great job with our existing clients in assisting them with this effort and getting it done. So he's a perfect person to address this requirement, spend the next 10 to 15 minutes with you, kind of going through what it all involves. So I'd like to introduce Alex to you. Alex, you can take it from here.
Thank you, Mike, for the introduction. So to continue, I'll talk about the 5-step of the FCP baseline process. First, I think most of you got an email from GSA with the advance notice of 60 days. That means that within the time you got the email until the 60th day, you can still use the old SIP platform. That is the legacy tool that GSA provided. But after the 60th day, you're no longer allowed to use that, and you have to accept or update your seller profile, which is the second step in the process. And then we move into preparing the file for your FCP. So this is where you would look into your old price proposal template and then move all the awarded services or labor categories with the corresponding rates into the FCP file. The FCP file can be the service plus file, or it can be the product file for those who are offering products via GSA. And then you would also then submit that via the FCP tool. And then the good thing about FCP is that it provides an automated validation process. So once you submit your file in the FCP platform, you will get an email whether the file has an issue, and GSA will also provide you with an Excel sheet that tells you what to do with those errors that they have captured on the submitted file. Here in this page, you will see an overview about what to expect in this webinar. Of course, number one, the purpose and importance of FCP. Like what I mentioned earlier, GSA is getting away with the old SIP tool. So that means that if you are not prepared for this process, then you will have a problem in terms of your visibility in eBuy as well as in GSE library. That's the very important thing about knowing and understanding this process. Um, the migration process overview, I've shown that to you earlier on the previous page on what are the different phases of the migration process. We will also want to share to you the key challenges that we have encountered while navigating this new platform from GSA. One of the key challenge is when you go through the validation process, it's going to be a different level of validation. Like you thought it's fine, you have addressed all the validations, but when you submit the file again in the FCP platform, you will get another level of validation. I think that's going to be like 3 levels of validation until you reach the finish line. So our MC is here to share to you what we have learned in the FCP platform. We are an expert, and we can certainly help you transition your GSA MES catalog into the FCP file. And if you are a new GSA MES contractor who wants to submit your proposal with GSA, we have also we have also earned expertise in terms of submitting a proposal that is using the FCP platform or the FCP Service Plus file and the FCP product file. Okay, so who the FCP migration applies, like what I mentioned earlier, this is for aspiring GSA MES contractor who wants to submit a fully compliant GSA MES proposal, and also for those who have already earned or have been awarded their GSA MES contract, who are required by GSA to transition to the FCP platform. So those are the two group of contractors that are going to benefit from this. Just also to share, all SINs are going to be included. There's no exemption in terms of FCP. This includes services SINs as well as product SINs. Okay, so what the FAS catalog platform or FCP is? So this is a cloud-based system. So if you are engaged or if you have used the old tool, the SIP tool, this is quite different. The old one has a very old user interface, but this one, the FCP platform uses a cloud-based, like you're just logging into a website. You will be navigating the website. So you will be uploading files, downloading files. That's how easy it is. It is also more accurate in terms of data validation because it uses GSA's validation system. And GSA also uses standardized rules in terms of what are allowed. There are some keywords that are allowed, that are not allowed. So that sets the standard in all catalog file that are being submitted to GSA. And by year 2026, GSA is expecting that all contractors have already migrated to the FCP platform. So this is now the backbone of GSA MES program. So why the FCP migration is mandatory? Um, you have no choice. Once you get the email from GSA, after 60 days, you cannot update your price list. Your visibility in eBuy as well as in GSA eLibrary will definitely be affected because GSA is no longer going to allow you to use the old SIP file in terms of modifying your contract or changing anything with your contract. You will also be flagged by GSA for not complying with the mandatory FCP transition. The good thing about FCP is that it enhances your catalog listing in GSA eLibrary. It will now be in such a way that the federal buyer would be able to see the details of your pricing as well as your economic price adjustment. If you have whatever method you have used, it's also going to be available to them. They're no longer going to switch from the terms and conditions file into your catalog file. It's going to be all in one file that is visible in GSA eLibrary. Now, um, catalog baseline requirement. So you will only go through this process once for every product or service. So if you're offering both, then you would have to go through two different baseline modification process. The platform will also give you a step-by-step process on how you're going to get the approval of your submission. Once you have submitted the baseline modification, you will see in the website or the FCP website as to what is the status of your submission. Normally, it's going to go through a CO review. That's the next step after you submit your baseline file. Also, the baseline modification it's like setting your basis of award terms and conditions. It's all going to be put in that baseline modification process. So whatever it is that you have been awarded in the old SIP system, all of those will going to be brought into the new FCP platform using the baseline modification process. Common mistakes and delays, or what could cause delay in your FCP migration. Number one is the improper use of SIP. So you're not allowed to use SIP anymore the moment you get the notification from GSA. You should stop using SIP. You need to somehow strategize on how you want to update your GSA catalog, so that you're not gonna have any problem in terms of your baseline modification. Your contact information also needs to be updated, especially in your SAM. GSA is integrated with your SAM profile, so make sure you update your contact details in your SAM. There are also some instances where datas are being mixed in your previous catalog that could also causes delays and problems. Also, one thing you need to understand is that FCP might, or GSA contracting officer might not allow you to modify your contract if your FCP baseline modification have not yet been completed. So those are some of the mistakes that you can avoid in terms of FCP migration. Implications for new MES operators. So this is for those who are aspiring to get a GSA MES contract. So FCP as a starting point. So when you are preparing your contract, or the pricing proposal section of your contract, it's best that you utilize the FCP template for you to prepare your service description, the list of the labor categories, and so on. You also need to make sure that the data and pricing are accurate. Like you pretty much know what is the commercial market rates of the services that you're offering, and you have to make sure that those are backed up with supporting documentation. And you have to be updated in terms of ongoing requirement because GSA changes the requirements from time to time. Whenever there's going to be a new solicitation refresh that will be released, we also need to look into that in terms of preparing for your FCP product file or FCP service file. How does Roadmap Consulting support you with your FCP migration? So we have created a system in terms of how we transition your contract or your catalog to FCP if you are an existing GSA MES contractor. And if you are an aspiring GSA MES contractor, we have also reviewed the latest solicitation document, the Refresh 31 solicitation, and laid out plans on how your FCP file will be compliant with that solicitation. So next step, once you get the mandatory FCP migration, you would have to update your seller profile in the FCP platform, submit your baseline modification, and enjoy the benefit of having the FCP catalog published in GSA eLibrary as well as GSA eBind. So for you to know more about how we can help you, feel free to reach us. You can click on Michael Perch Calendly link. I'll be with Mike during your networking call or your conversation with him.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Alex. Thanks so much for the great presentation. Very valuable information. Certainly a topic that everyone that has a GSA schedule is going to wrestle with in 2026. If you haven't already done it, it's coming your way pretty soon. As Alex mentioned, it is a mandatory requirement, and every GSA schedule holder will have to comply by the end of this year. So, yeah, so we welcome you again for your specific company and your specific requirements to schedule with us a 15-minute consultation. Alex, you can put that back up on the screen so they can click it, click the link, and meet with myself, Alex, and possibly one of our other contracts managers and account managers as well to discuss how we could be of assistance to you. Um, at this point, I think we have some questions that have been asked, and I'll read those questions. Michael, I think you did post them in the chat. I'll go ahead and start with the first one. The first question is if a prospect finds us in the GSA catalog but contacts us via our website, do we still have to pay GSA if they utilize our services? The answer is yes. I'll take that one, Alex. The answer is yes. If a client or agency or any government client does use your GSA schedule, you should record that as a GSA sale, and you would be subject to the the industrial funding fee of 0.75% of whatever that amount is. The good news is, if your schedule was done correctly, you've already included that cost in the actual listing of your services. So it's not as if you're having to pay it out of pocket. It's already as a pass through essentially, and the agency is paying it to GSA. Second question, how long do we have to be absolutely onboarded? Does GSA send us a modification before we can transfer over to the new FCP? So upon notification, you have 60 days to comply. And GSA will give you a platform to do it, but it's all going to be actually handled by you in terms of the step-by-step procedures that Alex just outlined to take place. It is fairly complex, I will say that. The procedures are not as, I guess, clear and easy to undertake as you would expect. So there have been a number of FCP migrations that have not gone well, and we've gotten certain clients that have come over to us as a result. So I guess the suggestion we would have is just to again meet with us, talk with us a little bit about your situation. If you're in the midst of one and you're having problems, we could jump in and give you a hand. And if you haven't been contacted yet, I would still say to call us because then we could put something in place to enable us to mobilize very quickly so that within that 60-day time frame, we could have you transitioned over to the new platform. Okay. Next question. It appears that a lot of information requested from the manufacturer's side and not the dealer side of the process. The dealer always refers to the manufacturer's GSA for discounts and product availability. Please confirm. Okay, this came from Christy, and I would say, Christy, I'm not quite sure of your, how to answer your question. So I would suggest you just, contact us. Let's sit down and talk for 15 minutes. We could probably get to the bottom of your question and give you a good answer to your situation. All right, those are the questions so far that have been asked. We got about 5 more minutes. If you have any other questions, feel free to put them into the chat so that we can answer those questions. And we'll wait for about a minute or so, see if anyone does. While I have you on the line, I will also mention to you we have another webinar coming up next week. For those of you who are thinking way ahead of getting onto the schedule and you just wanted to hear a little bit about this particular topic, but you're not on schedule yet, next week we're going to have a webinar on how we assist companies to acquire their GSA multiple award schedule. So please, if you have not yet signed up for that and you're interested in getting on schedule, yeah, join us next week this time to talk a little bit about how we assisted over 300 companies in the last 17 years to acquire their schedule, not just acquire their schedule, but strategically acquire their schedule, giving our expertise to making sure you get the right margins on the products, services, and solutions you put on your schedule, making sure your negotiations go well, implementing best practices and strategic direction and guidance as to how you list your design and engineer the product, services, and solutions you put on your schedule. So please join us in case you have not yet signed up. All right. Well, looks like no other questions have been put in. So at this point, I will draw this to this webinar to an end. Again, thank you for your time. Hopefully, we share some valuable information with you on the topic of FCP migration, the new GSA mandatory requirement for transitioning your current schedule listing over to this new platform that GSA has. Feel free to reach out to us. We're here to help. Look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.